One day, something changes inside you. The jokes that once felt normal start feeling fake. The kindness feels forced. The conversations feel empty. And slowly, you begin noticing how many people only love the version of you that benefits them. That's the painful part about emotional awareness. You don't lose people first. You lose the illusion you had about them. The first sign you've started seeing the truth about people is that you notice how differently they treat you when they no longer need something from you. Before, you ignored it. You made excuses for them. You told yourself they were busy, tired, stressed, or emotionally unavailable. But now, you start connecting patterns. You realize some people only called when they needed comfort, only checked on you when they felt lonely, only acted warm when you were useful to them. And the moment you stopped overgiving, their energy changed. That realization hurts in a quiet way because your care was real. Your loyalty was real. So when you discover someone's connection to you was conditional, it creates a strange kind of heartbreak. Not dramatic, not loud, just heavy. Like sitting alone late at night replaying years of conversations in your head, suddenly realizing you were emotionally carrying relationships that were never balanced to begin with. You start understanding that some people never loved you deeply. They loved your availability, your patience, your emotional labor, and the comfort of knowing you would always stay no matter how little they gave back. The second sign is that you've become quieter around people. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you've started noticing how rarely people truly listen. You begin seeing how many conversations are performances, people waiting for their turn to speak, people pretending to care while mentally preparing their next story. And after a while, something inside you becomes tired of explaining yourself to people who only hear what supports their own version of reality. So you stop oversharing. You stop forcing connection. You stop trying to make emotionally unavailable people understand your heart. And people may call you distant because of it. But what they don't understand is that silence is often born from disappointment. You learned that not everybody deserves access to your inner world. Some people only collect your vulnerabilities so they can feel powerful later. Some people ask deep questions not because they care, but because your pain makes them feel emotionally important. So now, you observe more than you speak. You notice facial expressions, energy shifts, changes in tone, hidden irritation behind fake smiles. And slowly, you begin protecting your peace instead of constantly trying to prove your goodness to people who were never emotionally safe enough to receive it properly. The third sign is that you begin feeling emotionally exhausted after certain interactions. This is where emotional intelligence becomes painful because you start sensing things people don't say directly. The passive aggression hidden inside jokes, the jealousy disguised as advice, the subtle disrespect buried under sarcasm. You begin noticing who secretly competes with you, who feels uncomfortable when you grow, who becomes cold the moment you stop shrinking yourself to protect their ego. And the hardest part is, most of these people once felt safe to you. That's what emotional awakening does. It forces you to grieve people who are still alive, people you still talk to, still smile with, still see every week. But internally, something has changed because now you can feel the emotional masks they wear. You can feel when someone supports you publicly but resents you privately. You can feel when compliments carry hidden envy. Before awareness, you ignored energy shifts because you wanted connection more than truth. But now, your nervous system notices everything. The silence after your success. The strange tension when you become confident. The way certain people only feel comfortable around the weak version of you. And suddenly, relationships that once felt normal start feeling emotionally heavy. The fourth sign is that people-pleasing starts feeling unbearable. You suddenly realize how much of your life was spent trying to keep everyone comfortable while silently abandoning yourself. Saying yes when your body wanted rest, smiling when something hurt you, staying loyal to people who repeatedly disrespected you because you were afraid of losing connection. You start seeing how deeply you trained yourself to earn love through self-sacrifice, and once that awareness enters your mind, you cannot return to the old version of yourself anymore. Now, every forced interaction drains you. Every fake smile feels exhausting. Every one-sided friendship feels emotionally violent, because your mind and body are no longer willing to tolerate what your soul has outgrown. You realize that constantly being understanding made people comfortable hurting you, that always being available taught people your boundaries didn't matter, that overgiving created relationships where your value became expected instead of appreciated. And for the first time, you begin asking yourself a terrifying question: who am I when I stop performing for love? That question changes everything, because you slowly begin understanding that healthy love does not require you to emotionally disappear just to keep other people comfortable. The fifth sign is that loneliness starts feeling different, not emptier, just more honest. There is a very specific loneliness that comes with emotional maturity. It's the loneliness of no longer being able to connect through fake energy. Small talk becomes exhausting. Surface-level friendships feel emotionally dead. You crave depth now, honesty, emotional safety, real presence. And because of that, your circle becomes smaller. You stop chasing attention. You stop begging to be understood. You stop trying to force closeness with people who emotionally confuse you. At first, this phase feels isolating. You wonder if you're becoming too sensitive, too detached, too guarded. But the truth is, you're finally seeing relationships clearly instead of romantically. You're no longer mistaking familiarity for connection, and that changes everything. Because emotionally aware, people don't fear being alone the way they used to. They fear being surrounded by people who slowly destroy their peace while pretending to care about them. So even though the silence feels unfamiliar sometimes, it also feels safer, cleaner, more emotionally honest than constantly begging for real connection in rooms full of emotionally unavailable people. And the sixth sign is that your intuition becomes impossible to ignore. You start feeling the truth before people reveal it. You notice energy shifts instantly. You can tell when someone's words and intentions don't match. And maybe the strangest part of all is realizing how often your instincts were right in the past. You remember all the times your body sensed something before your mind accepted it. The moments you felt uncomfortable around someone but ignored it just to seem polite. The friendships that drained you from the beginning. The relationships where you kept hoping effort would transform emotional inconsistency into love. But now, you trust yourself more. Not because you think everyone is bad, but because you finally understand that not everyone is emotionally healthy enough to love honestly. And that realization changes the way you move through life. You stop forcing access. You stop chasing validation. You stop confusing attention with care. Instead, you become selective, calm, observant. You start valuing peace more than popularity. You begin protecting your emotional health the way wounded people protect physical scars. And yes, this level of awareness can feel lonely at first, because once you see the truth about people, you also see the truth about the roles you used to play just to feel accepted. You realize how often you betrayed your own feelings to maintain connections that were slowly draining you. But this isn't the end of your softness, it's the beginning of emotional honesty. You're not becoming heartless, you're becoming harder to manipulate. You're learning the difference between being kind and being emotionally available to people who misuse your kindness. And maybe that's the real transformation. Not hating people, not isolating yourself from the world, but finally understanding that protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary. Because the moment you start seeing people clearly is the moment you finally stop abandoning yourself just to keep them in your life. Seeing the truth about people can feel lonely at first, because once your eyes open, you can no longer find comfort in fake connection, forced loyalty, or shallow love. But this awareness is not here to make you cold. It's here to protect your peace. Some people were only meant to teach you what draining energy feels like, so you could finally recognize what genuine connection